Does the Community Spouse Resource Allowance affect Medicaid eligibility? Imagine trying to protect your loved one's future while navigating the rules of Medicaid. One key factor that can make a big difference is the Community Spouse Resource Allowance. So, how does this allowance impact whether you or your spouse qualify for Medicaid long-term care benefits? Let's find out. The Community Spouse Resource Allowance is a set amount of assets that the non-institutionalized spouse, called the community spouse, can keep without affecting the Medicaid eligibility of the spouse needing care. This allowance is designed to prevent the community spouse from becoming impoverished while the other spouse receives Medicaid. Medicaid has strict rules about how much money and property the spouse applying for benefits can keep. Usually, the applicant spouse must spend down their assets to around $2,000 to qualify. But the community spouse can keep a larger amount thanks to the Community Spouse Resource Allowance. The total assets of the couple are assessed on a specific date, often the day the spouse needing care enters a nursing home or qualifies for Medicaid. This is called the snapshot date. The calculation of the allowance depends on the state where you live, as each state has its own rules. In states that follow the 50% rule, the community spouse can keep half of the couple's combined assets, up to a maximum limit. As of 2025, this maximum is usually around $157,920. If half of the assets are less than about $31,580 for dollars, then the community spouse can keep all assets up to that minimum. The spouse needing care must then spend down their share to meet Medicaid's asset limit. In states that follow the 100% rule, the community spouse can keep all of the couple's assets up to the maximum limit, regardless of the half-share rule. This allows the community spouse to retain more resources while still helping the other spouse qualify for Medicaid. The higher the Community Spouse Resource Allowance, the more assets the community spouse can keep. This can influence how quickly the spouse needing care becomes eligible for Medicaid because the spend-down amount for the applicant spouse is affected. When planning for Medicaid, elder law professionals carefully review the couple's assets and the specific state rules. They help ensure the community spouse keeps enough resources for daily living while enabling the spouse needing care to meet Medicaid's asset limits. The allowance is adjusted each year for inflation and varies by state, so it's important to check the current limits. Knowing how the Community Spouse Resource Allowance works can help you make smarter choices about protecting your family's financial future while qualifying for Medicaid long-term care benefits.